All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome into today's edition of In the Game. I am your host, Hustle, and as always, we're going to be diving into the Web3 gaming landscape. We're going to talk about a couple of altcoins that are still absolutely skyrocketing in this market, and anyone who got in on this WAGMI games call is absolutely sitting pretty today. We'll talk about this, and we'll talk about my ideology and why I focus on certain tokens and really just hammer down and niche down in those sectors and wait for the catalysts to play out. I'm not a technical analysis trader, but we give you the fundamentals and the reasons why these things go on these rapid moves. We'll talk about exactly that in this show, as well as a couple of altcoins that I'm still eyeing up, I think have great legs up potentially on the way, especially if we see Bitcoin continuing to climb. We're still in that 30,000 area, getting really boring, honestly, but I do think that we could see a leg up again on Bitcoin pretty soon, which could trickle into the altcoins and send some of them upwards. We'll talk about that in this edition. Without further ado, let's get into it. To our sponsors here on In the Game. First of all, like the video down below and subscribe for more every single day here on Banter and on In the Game. And quick shout out to our sponsors here on In the Game. Bybit, one of the leading exchanges in the world at this point for all of your trading needs. And if you're a U.S. citizen, we all know what's going on with KuCoin, Bybit, with the KYC stuff. 𝗕𝗁𝗄 down below. You can trade on 𝗕𝗁𝗄 as a U.S. citizen. So links down below for our official exchanges. NordVPN, always navigate safely and securely whenever you are navigating the blockchain. Obviously, we're seeing all this de-anonymizing crypto with Arkham. A way to anonymize is to potentially use a VPN. NordVPN down below. And last but not least, Vulcan Forge, one of the leading blockchain gaming studios in the entire Web3 gaming industry. Links down below for all of our sponsors. Let's dive into a couple of the biggest headlines here before I dive into the altcoin market and exactly why I niche down so hard and exactly why I focus on just one stack of tokens, research new ones, but really wait for the big fundamentals behind these projects to play out when I see one is undervalued. So let's go ahead and dive into this news topic today, which we see Google Play Store now allowing developers to include NFTs in their apps and in their games. So this is a big step forward because marketplaces like Google Play, like Apple, they kind of have had this weird standoff against NFTs and against Web3 blockchain games being included on their marketplace. So today they update their policy and they permit blockchain games and apps coming into their app store. So this is big in my opinion, because I think Apple's going to have to follow suit. And there's money to be made for these companies and these marketplaces for Google Play, for Apple App Store, etc., if they allow these types of things on the App Store. So I think this is going to play out very bullish for the Web3 gaming industry. We see Ryan Wyatt, formerly of Polygon. That feels weird to say, but formerly of Polygon, saying, fantastic to see Google expand their storefront policy to be more inclusive of all genres, including blockchain. This was a source of pain for expanding TAM and will put much needed pressure on Apple to have more dev-friendly policies. I completely agree with that sentiment. And this today is simply one more step forward to what we talk about every single show, is the crypto gaming, Web3 gaming, NFTs, digital collectibles in video games. I've been saying it for years, and I'm going to keep saying it until this materializes. As of today, I'm still the cuckoo guy on YouTube that comes on here and tells you that NFTs and digital collectibles and crypto incorporated into video games is going to be one of the biggest things in the world and that it's going to disrupt gaming. And I look like the mad scientist that has his hair all frizzed and I'm electrocuted, and I look like the guy who's just absolutely insane. But in a few years, this industry is going to be disrupted, and we're going to see digital collectibles ownership in gaming. It'll be completely normal, and it'll be the standard. Web3 integrations into these games, whether or not the user even knows they're participating in the crypto or the Web3. There are going to be layers of Web3 NFTs and ownership in every video game in the future. So we're ahead of this movement. If you watch the show here on In the Game, you've been ahead of this movement. And we're really just loading up our long-term and short-term portfolios to take full advantage of the developments that are happening in the Web3 gaming space. And I maintain my prediction. Gaming will be the biggest sector to come out of crypto, Web3, NFTs as a whole. I don't think DeFi has that full-blown mass adoption potential. I mean, Bitcoin obviously is in a league of its own, but I don't think any other genre or niche inside of crypto is going to onboard as many users. Bitcoin ETF maybe will get more users, but at the end of the day, a good game could garner 1 million users overnight. So I'm really excited for this development on the Google Play Store and just seeing the adoption potential that could bring eventually when more games open up the doors to NFTs inside of their game. And one of the biggest NFT games out there right now, which has been doing a great job of integrating Web3 without the user having to feel like, oh, I got to buy a crypto, I got to buy an NFT, I have to make a wallet. Deadrop and Midnight Society have been absolutely spot on with their rollout of this game. The new snapshot, so the new gameplay build went out yesterday, and the feedback was terrific. I mean, people like Bryson, Cairo, Jonah Blake. I saw a lot of people, Crypto Stash. They were all playing, and they had a big event, and the game is really looking a lot more polished than it was whenever it first came out. And also, the reason this is such a big deal is the fact that Dr. Disrespect garners such a big audience. Right now, the man is live on YouTube playing this game in front of 34,000 people. And then Tim the Tap Man is live playing this game in front of 25,000 people. So you're seeing the influence that Dr. Disrespect has. And this game is in front of so many eyes. I think it's very bullish for exposure for Web3 games. And yesterday, his stream got 583,000 views. So you can see the pull that Dr. Disrespect has. If they execute and if Deadrop, the rollout continues to be successful, the game materializes to something, a full-blown product at the end of the day, because they're walking us through the building of the game step by step at this moment. I think that this has so much potential to be that educator, like the one game that could potentially bring in millions of players, that could potentially educate the masses as far as, oh, NFTs aren't that bad. Web3 isn't that bad. Owning my assets, the skins I earn, the characters I have. It all makes sense, and I think it's just going to be a learning curve. Dr. Disrespect's been doing a great job, and I think that, with 4.45 million followers, 500,000 views on his stream, 34K watching today, I really think that this is the biggest adoption game that we have in crypto right now. I think that, the masses that he could bring on are definitely the highest in the space. So I'm excited to see the full-blown execution as this progresses. But the gameplay is looking fantastic. And I got to give a kudos to Dr. Disrespect for taking the plunge. When he started building this Web3 game, Web3 games were kind of getting shit on in the mainstream media, for lack of a better word. They were just kind of getting the gist of the back end completely demolished in the mainstream media. And he doubled down. He built out this Web3 game, and it's going very well. So shout out to Midnight Society and Dr. Disrespect. Now let's get into the altcoin side of the show. And a couple things to talk about here. Obviously, kudos to anyone who tailed the WAGMI games call, 185% over the month. And I want to point out, so I read in the chat box and I'll read in the comments. This thing is flying right now. Geez. Okay. All right. Big shout out to anyone who took this trade, because I went ahead and I marked a couple key levels here. Whenever we gave this call out last week, it had done a 68% before my last show. So before my last show, it had done about a 68% when I still said this had upside. And then ever since that 68%, it has done another 81%. So in total on the gains here on WAGMI games, since we told you, we literally titled the show that this was going to pump, that this was going to have a major move. It's up 204% since that show. So I want to make this very clear. I don't know that I'd be chasing the pump. I know that there's big liquidity coming into this token. Yesterday, there was a $58,000 buy. Right now, actually, 28,000, 25,000, 23. These are all the same wallet. So that was a $100,000 buy that just came in. These 4 transactions that I just highlighted down here. That's a $100,000 buy from the same wallet. There are big whales coming into WAGMI. I think that this move is going to continue. But I want to make something clear. I see it in the chat all the time, and I see people saying, I want new tokens. I quit covering the same tokens. But at the same time, if I'm covering Near Protocol, 𝗓𝗓 Infinity, SingularityNet, Lido, and Bitcoin, then what kind of bag is that? What kind of specialty is that? What kind of edge do I have? I would have no edge at all if I'm just flying around all of these niches and putting together these crazy watch lists of different tokens. I would have no edge in the market. But for the last 2 years, literally over the last 2 years of Web3 gaming adoption, all I've focused on is Web3 gaming. And we've capitalized time and time again on huge catalysts and huge moves in the market like WAGMI Games, where we told you that the marketing is ramping up. The exposure to 300 million households is on the way. And I try to keep it very simple and not bounce around to 1,000 tokens. The producer here and I tell her every day, I'm like, if I gave them new tokens every single day, I'd be giving you guys rug pulls. That's just not what I'm here to do. I'm here to niche it down, give you those 5, 10, 15 tokens that are undervalued by market cap, are doing a lot fundamentally, and that are great accumulations. We mentioned last week on the show, low caps with high utility that are way undervalued. This was one of them. Altura was one of them, and I still think this is a fantastic accumulation. I think this will be the easiest 10 to 20x that you're going to see in the next bull market. I think that Nakamoto Games is also a fantastic accumulation at a market cap of 35 million. Altura's market cap is 29 million. And WAGMI Games over the last couple of weeks has gone from a 10 million market cap to a 32 million market cap and climbing. I gotta refresh. Coin market cap slow on this price because we're seeing the price live on DEX tools really rocketing here. So the point is, guys, if you feel like I'm giving you the same tokens over and over again, that's because I'm supposed to be doing that. I'm telling you the quality tokens that if you're planning up a position, you have a strategy and you have an edge. Like we had an edge here. I gave you the edge and it's played out to perfection. It's up 204% since last week's show where I said that this token, for lack of a better words, would pump. And it's awesome to see. And their team even given me credit on the fact that someone was like, not a single influencer was talking about WAGMI Games. I was the one that gave this to you. I spoon-fed this call. And it's just ridiculous to see in the comments or the chat box sometimes that you guys still want new tokens when the calculated edge that we have is in Web3 gaming. And I'm going to continue to exploit that over this time period. So like I said, we gave you Polygon way down here after the Robinhood dump, and that's up 13% over the month. I literally told you guys last week that $18 Solana was cheap. It's up 17% over the week. So the people who are listening are doing really well. Sorry for the rant there, but it is a little bit tiresome to read the same comments down below about how you guys want new tokens, when if you just listen to the ones that I'm telling you about, you would be I don't want to say swimming in the gains, but a 204% move in 9 days on a non-meme coin. Like, it has meme coin tokenomics, but this is a full-blown game. Like, these guys are building an absolute stellar Web3 game as far as the mobile side. So I don't know what more I can do for you. If 204% in 9 days, whenever we laid this out for you, spoon fed it to you, isn't enough, then I don't know. Find another Web3 gaming channel out there that's giving you these types of calls on a consistent basis. So I want to talk about a couple of tokens, like I said, that I still think are undervalued. And we see Elon today bringing out this new 𝗓𝘂𝗋, announcing the formation of 𝗓𝘂𝗋 to understand reality. Now, this launch here, I don't want to say it's going to be a catalyst towards AI tokens, but as you guys know, we bought into Ocean Protocol down at about 27 cents. Yeah, right around like this area, we scooped up this dip. It's up to 35 cents. I think that this one could continue to rally, especially if we see this 𝗓𝘂𝗋 platform generate some more hype as far as the AI narrative. I think that Ocean is the top AI play that's not Render. I'm excluding Render from that basket. I think Render's more metaverse AI computing hybrid, but we see Ocean on the move a little bit. Yeah, so it's come down actually ever since we started the show. But I think that this is a good long-term accumulation, especially given the market cap of 200 million. I know we've been doing really good on low caps recently, but none of these AI coins are a billion market cap, let alone this is 20% of $1 billion market cap. I think in a bull run, you're going to see Ocean valuated at a multi-billion-dollar valuation. So I think Ocean's a great long-term accumulation. And if you want something that's a lower market cap in the AI sector, definitely a little more volatile. But I think that this has a lot of potential, especially when I speak to devs in the Web3 gaming front-end development user experience. They use this covalent product in their current jobs every single day. So I like when a product has an actual use case. I know this market flocks to Pepe's and stuff like that, but I like to accumulate the fundamentals. And that's the whole point of the rant earlier, is when I see something playing out on the back end, marketing, mass exposure, a big upcoming announcement, when I know VCs are looking at something, when I know whales are looking at something, that's how I play this. I'm not the type to come in here, and this is, obviously I'm not doing TA on this at this moment, but I'm not the type to come in here and draw lines upward or downward and say, we're ranging in this zone, and if we stay here, we're doing this and that. That's not how I play this. I'm in Web3 gaming. These things are very volatile. And I like to play the game of, if I know something, if I have the edge to be able to get in front of it and be able to tell you guys immediately how to play it and how to get in front of major moves, that's how I'm going to play it. So to me, I'm not a technical analyst, but I would consider myself a fundamental trader that actually trades off legit catalysts. I don't let the charts tell me what's going to happen, especially when I have the developments of what a project's doing in my back pocket, and we can take advantage of that. And I can give that alpha here to you first. So it's an incredible platform for me to be able to do that. Shout out to anyone who ate on this. As mentioned, that is not me doing TA, but I'm saying I don't do TA. I don't look at charts and say that's super bearish or that's super bullish. I look at what the product is. I look at what they're building, and I accumulate based on valuations. So shout out to anyone who did take advantage of this. I think the other two low caps that I'm really hyper focused on right now are Altera and Nakamoto Games, as mentioned. And when you look at the watch list, I don't know, there's not a lot. Like the thing is, guys, this isn't the market to be aping into every altcoin. And I think that's another point I need to make here. Just because we caught this move, the 200% move so far on WAGMI games, does not mean to take profit and go throw it into some other coin, right? That is not how you play this. You need to have a calculated edge, and you need to make sure that you know what's happening in these projects and not just throwing money at anything in the markets. I have my long-term portfolio of stuff like Polygon, Avalanche, Gala, Vulcan Forged, Render, all Altura, all these tokens in my long-term stack. But if I'm trading or if I'm thinking of a short-term catalyst that's going to really move the price on something, I'm not taking the profits and throwing it back into the market. So I'm going to tell you a couple that I think are good valuations right now to be able to accumulate, but I don't think that this is the time to just be throwing your money at altcoins. The liquidities with Bitcoin right now, the liquidities with Ethereum right now. I really think that we need to see Bitcoin take a leg up and actually play out in more of a bullish pattern. Obviously, we've gone from 16K to 30K this year. That's pretty bullish, but the altcoins aren't getting the love. And so I wouldn't be throwing your money into just any altcoin. I think that if you're looking at accumulations here, I think Polygon is pretty stable. And I honestly think Polygon's probably continued. It's due to continue its rally, potentially up past 80 cents, in my opinion. This got hit hard after the Robinhood delist, and the utility and the fundamentals behind Polygon are top tier. I mean, they're rock solid. So I love Polygon to potentially continue its move upward. I think Render's a great long-term accumulation at this market cap. I mean, this was at $1 billion market cap just a month and a half ago, around that metaverse hype. That metaverse hype has died down. I think that's going to be a fantastic accumulation eventually. We're seeing Immutable take a fall, as we said it would. We've been telling you not to buy this yet. It's not in my portfolio yet. And I love what these guys are doing, but the token unlocks every single month are just destroying the price. And even when the market does get a little bullish momentum, the liquidity isn't really hitting IMX that hard as far as, major buys coming in. So when we see this, there's an upcoming unlock for the token of $12.5 million worth of tokens in 2 days and 14 hours. Despite crazy bullish, Immutable is one of the most bullish products in gaming. So it sucks that we can't hop in and feel confident that this isn't going to keep sinking. But unfortunately, in this climate, VCs are taking profits on every time they get money back from these early launches. So in my opinion, it's a tough climate to confidently call the bottom of Immutable. This thing could keep falling if Bitcoin trends sideways and altcoins aren't getting the love. But they see a big partnership. I believe they announced this yesterday with SimWin Sports. The team has 30 years of AAA experience, from Madden to DraftKings, and their investors are Animoca Brands, Magic Johnson, One Up Ventures, with strategic partnerships like Dapper Labs, Sports Illustrated. This one looks really good. And at this point, it was a year ago, I spoke with the team behind this project. I don't think Immutable was in the cards at that time, but it's awesome to see this come to Immutable. When I spoke with the team here, I was really excited about this project. I'm a big sports fan. NFL season's right around the corner. Perfect timing to launch this, in my opinion. It's combining Web3 and AI tech to fuel 24/7, 365 fantasy sports with Hall of Famers. So there's legit IP. You're going to be able to use legit players in this game. So I think this is going to be awesome. But it sucks that great news. And then over the week's time, Immutable's down another 5.5%. So I love the product, but I think we're going to get a better price here. This diluted market cap's going to keep coming down once these sells come in off these unlocks. This market cap here is also going to inch a little closer to that diluted market cap. Only 52% of the supply is circulating. So we have 48% worth of tokens left to hit this market. And we don't know when the altcoin bull run is going to hit. I think that it would be safe to not accumulate IMX until some of these token unlocks play out and you get those prices. Honestly, at this point, with how rapid it falls around these token unlocks, I need 50 cents or 55 cents to be able to be okay, this thing has bled hard enough, because I don't know. At this moment, it's down from $1.53 down to 68 cents. And I think this could go lower despite my bullish sentiment around the product. So just tread cautiously. This is definitely the top tier project that I don't have in my bags yet, that I would love to have in my bags, right? But at the same time, I'm just not confident in the price appreciating anytime soon, especially if we continue to see altcoins bleed. I think Gala's their games, their economies with these multiple tokens, it's getting a little rocky at some points. I think that under 2 cents is great accumulation. I think that around 2 cents is great accumulation, but my conviction in Gala is probably in the middle at this point. Some of the moves behind the scenes I haven't really loved, but I think that it's going to do well in a bull run. But the question is, can it sustain itself during these times when altcoins aren't getting liquidity? I would look around 2 cents to get an accumulation on Gala. And typically speaking, it will get to 2 cents and then bounce. So if you see 2 cents, I do think it's a really good accumulation on Gala. Love Vulcan Forged. Obviously, it's nearing $3. I think under $3 is, I don't want to call it a generational buy opportunity, but traditionally speaking, if we just go look at the chart here, just so I can give you guys sentiment on a couple things as far as some altcoins. Over the last year on the charts, we've seen 269. That's the lowest that we've seen here for Vulcan Forged. I think under $3 is a very safe accumulation level on Vulcan Forged. If you have been looking to fill your bags, I would look for that under $3 level, as WAGMI, DeFi Kingdoms, and Vulcan Forged have a huge catalyst coming up here in the next 6 to 8 weeks that I think are going to get them a lot of attention across mainstream media. As mentioned, I love Naka. I love Altura. I think that Remark's a great accumulation as far as that long-term low-cap portfolio. I think that 𝗓𝗏 and 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗛𝗏 probably have a lot in the tank whenever the market does turn around. And I love what I've been seeing from 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. This one did really well last bull market, and I still talk with the team quite frequently. I like some of the things they're doing behind the scenes, so I hope to see 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 at this $14 million market cap continue to make a little bit of a comeback. It's up 8% this week, and I think this could continue to climb. And last but not least, I see this one asked in the... Actually, I'm going to give you two quickly because these are asked in the chat box all the time. Games for a living, cool project, terrible tokenomics. I can't fathom getting into something. Could it pump? Sure. Will it pump? Maybe. But and it's up 25% for the month. Fantastic. 140% for the year. All power to anyone in this token. But when the market cap is 8 million and the fully diluted is 138 million, so only 6% of the supply is circulating. What is that multiple even? I mean, that's 15, 16 times the amount. Yeah, it's like 16 times the amount of diluted market cap to circulating market cap. That's just not the type of token that I'm looking to accumulate. And this is not to, what I'm about to show you is definitely not a knock on this project. I love, for example, what 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 has done. I think that, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, let's see. It always does this to me where the tokens don't search correctly. Let's see if I can fix this. Oh gosh, they sent me on light mode. They're doing me dirty over here. Okay, get me to undead token page. Love undead blocks, and I love everything that they've been doing. Let me just see if I can get this this token pulled up so I can just make an example here, because that's all I'm trying to do. If they'll let me. No, they're not letting me. They're telling me that I've given too much raw information on tokenomics on this show, and they don't want me to give anymore. I'll give it a shot on another tab here after we talk about this one as well. 𝗓𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. So 𝗓𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, I don't see upward price momentum for stuff like this for the foreseeable future, unfortunately. And honestly, super tough. I mean, since the TGE on Myria, this thing is down 81%. And it's down 81% since April. All along, whenever this launched, we mentioned that the diluted was a bit high. It's come down substantially over this time period. If we take a look at the market cap, it started off at a 10 million and now it's a 3 million circulating market cap. And this market cap was over $200 million. We've warned to stay away from this for now. Myria, I have nothing against the product. Once again, just like that 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬𝗕 project, nothing against those types of things. I love what Myria does as far as business themselves. When I talk to the team, when I see the games that are building with Myria, but the problem is there's emissions every single day on their nodes, and the people are selling their nodes because why do they have confidence to hold right now? There's no confidence to hold this token whenever it's down 80% over just a 3-month time period. Over the 7 days, for Christ's sakes, it's down 17%. So it's really hard to stomach these types of things. So this is also an example that good product doesn't always mean good investment. I think that's probably my biggest point I'm looking to make by pointing out the tokenomics behind some of these things, because the reason why we love stuff like WAGMI games, the diluted market, there's already 85% of the tokens circulating. The reason we like Altura, for example, where's Altura? You know, we already have 72% of the tokens circulating, and the diluted market cap is only $40 million compared to 30 million. So there's less downside risk, but there's tremendous upside potential with some of these low cap tokens. So I think that's the point I'm really trying to make here whenever I'm talking about a couple of these projects that I get asked about a lot, but I just don't think they're great investments. And here's what I was trying to point out. So the last thing I'll say, this harps on the fact that good product does not mean it's a good investment, okay? Over the time period, Undead Blocks has, undoubtedly speaking, they're one of the better products in Web3 gaming. They have some of the best user base, active users, players, etc. Whatever you want to, they have an awesome community and an awesome game. But when the tokenomics speak to the fact of 1.5 million market cap, that is not meaning it's undervalued. The fully diluted is 51 million. That's 50 times the amount of diluted to circulating market cap. So please take what I'm saying and integrate it into your research, because low market cap doesn't always mean that it's going to just rocket and explode, right? Because there's only 3% circulating supply here on the Undead token. And that is exactly the reasons why that this has taken such a tumble, obviously bear market aside, but this has taken quite a bit of a tumble because of these flawed tokenomics. We see it play out with stuff like Myria, and that's my only concern with something like, where was it at? With 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬𝗕, for example. Like, you guys ask about this one a lot. I really dislike the fact that the diluted is super high and the normal market cap is only 8 million. Could it continue to go up? Sure. But this will not be in my bags until maybe the bull market. So guys, tread cautiously. The point here is do your research on tokenomics. In gaming, you need to focus on the fundamentals. This has been a pretty raw show, and I'm just telling you how it is more so than anything. Like, I don't really bring up negatives like that very often, but I am just showing you the way that I find these edges. Fundamentals, use news to your advantage, use announcements to your advantage, use quality building in the background to your advantage. Try to hop into Twitter spaces. Try to hop into AMAs with founders and the team. I guarantee you'll catch something that gives you an edge if you just listen carefully. It happens to me every single day when I hop into Twitter Spaces. I'm just listening, or if I hop into the conversations with some of these teams and I get some key information, and we can capitalize that into these markets. But that doesn't mean that you can just hop into any random token with terrible tokenomics and it plays out well for you. So guys, continue to stick around for the In the Game shows here every single day on Banter. I'm here guiding you through it, giving you the latest updates on everything Web3 gaming, you know, from gameplay to tokenomics to massive winners in the market, like this week with WAGMI Games. So guys, if you enjoy the content, like the video down below and subscribe for more. If you want some of these more raw shows where I also point out some of the big negatives in the investing side of some of these projects, let me know down below what you enjoyed about this show. Also, let me know down below if you caught these WAGMI Games moves, because this is a major price movement over just 9 days' time. So let me know down below in the comments, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on Friday. As always, play well, my friends.